Let's hop over to the NFC real quick. There's a big Thursday night game tomorrow night between the
Mm-hmm.
Packers and the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Cardinals only undefeated team left in the NFL. They're looking absolutely crazy. I don't know if you saw that viral video of JJ Watt on the sideline. He was like, I don't know if he was talking about people making excuses for the Cardinals winning. And they're like, they say it's because of this. They say it's because of this. And he's like, maybe it's just because we're a little bit better or something like that. And I thought that was JJ Watt, one of my all-time favorite players, Wisconsin alma mater. So definitely I have
Oh
some bias there. But
yeah.
yeah, the Cardinals look kind of unbeatable right now. They're good on defense, although I did see JJ Watt is out for tomorrow night's game with I think a shoulder injury is what I saw. Nonetheless, that defense is solid. The offense obviously solid. Kyler Murray kind of having a breakout season here. Um, I think I saw that last week. Him and Aaron Rodgers took the 1 and 2 spots uh, in terms of passer rating around the league. So this is really, really setting up to be the premier game so far this season. And as a diehard Packer fan myself, I'm nervous about it. I don't know how much I follow the Packers, but we are without a whole host of starters. Davantae Adams is out with COVID,
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
despite
huge.
being vaccinated, which really, really is annoying. Alan
Ugh.
Lazard is out with COVID. He's
Oh
unvaccinated, so
man.
he could miss more time. And
Oh
we also are
jeez.
missing our defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, who he's not even making the trip to Phoenix. Um,
Is that COVID also?
yeah, he was a close contact, and
Oh,
so he's not going to make it. The
damn.
defensive coordinator responsibilities are being split up amongst other coaches.
Hmm.
Um, but on top of that, we're missing Jair Alexander outside at the corner position, possibly Kevin King, who's questionable, Za'Darius Smith, who's been out with a back injury all season, and a couple guys in the offensive line. David Bakhtiari, I think, is back next week at best. Um, so in a lot of ways, my expectations are low for this. I actually do think that the Cardinals are going to pull out a win. They're at home. Packers are on a short week, as are the Cardinals. But in any case, to travel and to be missing that many starters, it just feels like a game where the Cardinals are going to prove that they are the top team in the league. Um, so yeah, my expectations are low for the Packers, at least that is. But we'll see. It could be also a game where we get to see some weaknesses of the Cardinals, if there are any. I'm not sure. But at this point in the season, the Cardinals just look like the team to beat. They look like the most complete team. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
The most complete
Yeah,
team in the league.
definitely. Mhm.
Um, from one side of the ball to the other. So yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on what you think about tomorrow night and just the Cardinals in general.
Yeah, well, with the Packers, that's obviously gonna be tough for them. They're gonna have to overcome a lot of adversity in this matchup if they're going to win. I didn't know that they had that many players and coaches out. I definitely knew that they had Davantae Adams out because that's been big news recently. But yeah, they're they're with Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they're really ever counted out, but
Definitely not. Definitely
yeah,
not.
um, I I do favor the Cardinals in this matchup too. I think maybe it'll be a closer game than we think, but I still think that the Cardinals aren't slowing down anytime soon, and I think that they're gonna um take this matchup. The Cardinals are favored by 6 right now. That's a pretty solid um you know overdogs status right now. They've uh covered the spread 5 games in a row. And you know a player that's been a sort of an asset so far is James Conner. He's been doing pretty well recently. Got a touchdown and last week's game. So James Conner is back. And he rushed for 65 yards and an NFC best. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns this year. So everyone talks about DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray, but James Conner is there too, and he's has added to the Cardinals' success this year. This matchup is going to be a matchup of, I think, 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. Actually, dang it! I just realized I was just talking about that. Davantae Adams isn't gonna be there for this game. Dang.
I might have seen that D-Hop is questionable too. I think Hopkins might be questionable too. I'm not 100% on that. I would have to check to confirm that, but I think I saw today that he's questionable.
Well, anyway, disregard what I just said on that.
It'll be, I think, one of the keys too to this game. So the Packers this year, just in watching them, which is a different thing from, so last year they were very good on first and second down, of getting either to third and manageable or just not having to play third down, because they would get a first down on either first or second down. But this year they've found themselves in a lot of third and longs, just a lot of third downs. They haven't been quite as good on first and second down. And a lot of that has to do with their offensive line being injured. Rodgers hasn't had a lot of time in the pocket to throw. They've had to do a lot of off schedule types of things. But the Cardinals are, I believe, if I have the stat right, the best in the league on third down. Giving something like, I forget the actual statistics, so I'm not actually going to say anything out loud that I don't know to be true. But I do know that they're very good on third down this year. So if the Packers find themselves in third down situations without Davantae Adams, without a consistent offensive line group that can protect Aaron Rodgers and allow some of these younger guys like Equanimeous St. Brown and Amari Rodgers, some new guys in the offense to get open, then that could spell trouble right away. We could be looking at a bigger spread than 6 points at that point.
Oh, definitely.
And on top of that, you mentioned James Conner too. The Packers still, as has been the case for a few years running now, they're still not great at stopping the run. They've gotten better with Devondre Campbell in the middle of the field. He's been, I think, the highest graded linebacker per PFF this year, which is amazing, considering he was on the streets during free agency. Kind of a shot in the dark kind of pickup there, but it really worked out for the Packers. And so I don't think that the Packers defense is going to be able to contain Kyler Murray and the Cardinals offense. I think it's going to be a shootout, if anything, right? Mm-hmm. But if they do have a chance at containing them, they're going to have to be solid against the run on first and second down. And then I think what the Packers did a lot last week after Taylor Heinicke broke out a couple of big runs for Washington is they had Devondre Campbell play kind of a QB spy with, I think it was like a cover 2 man and then the 2 safeties high. So I think to be successful, they might have to do that the entire game, keep Kyler Murray in the pocket or at least uncomfortable, right? And then they're going to have to play solid defense in the secondary. And that's going to be hard if they're without 2 of their top corners. I think that Kevin King is questionable, so he may or may not play at this point. But in any case, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. I'm going to be so stressed from the minute I wake up tomorrow until the time the game's over tomorrow night. But I'm excited. I'm very excited. I want to see, I think if the Packers can pull this one out on a short week with all the injuries they have, I think, I think that's, it's going to show a lot that they've come a long way since their week 1 blowout to the Saints. Yes. So, and likewise for the Cardinals, it's going to prove that they are a true contender that can compete with, a very consistent team, a team that's been consistent for now 3 years running. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited for the game. That being said, I am betting against the Packers here. I'm taking the Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals are going to pull it out in the end. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, but I just think the Cardinals are a bit too overpowered this year, and the Packers are a bit too banged up. They have too many injuries, and it's too short of a week to overcome that quickly. So
yeah, uh, definitely. I think if the Packers do win this game, that is a terrific sign for them
statement.
going forward. I'm just looking at the Cardinals schedule moving forward, because if the Packers don't beat the Cardinals, I'm thinking, well, dang, who's going to stop the Cardinals? Who's going to dethrone them from their unbeaten season so far? And I'm looking, and really the only tough games that the Cardinals have coming up are against the Rams on December 13th and the Cowboys on January 2nd. So if
they have Colts is a sneaky one in there too, but otherwise you're right. It's a fairly easy schedule ahead for them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cardinals undefeated season, maybe? I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
It's really tough to do.
I feel like the week, what is it, week 18 now? Because there's 17 games in the season. So the week 18 game against the Seahawks, if the Seahawks can stay at least a little bit relevant with Geno Smith, and then they can get Russell Wilson back, that week might be a big one for the Seahawks. And if the Cardinals are in and they're sitting pretty, it could be a week where they rest some starters, and that could be a loss if the Seahawks are playing for their lives. But beyond that, you're right. It is quite the easy schedule for them. It's a big one this Thursday though.
Yeah. Then, if they lose in week 18 to the Seahawks, and if also they're starting, if they're benching a lot of their starters, that's not really like a legitimate loss right there. That's like one where you more expect it, like, okay, they're sort of like, throwing in the towel here and, looking forward to the postseason. But it'll be interesting to see who, if anybody, dethrones the Cardinals this year. I think someone has to. We haven't had an undefeated team in a while. Obviously, we always had those teams that lose like three games. 2 games is like the gold standard. If you lose 2 games in an NFL season, that's like, wow, that's really good. So we'll see who
the Rams there and the Cowboys are both ones that are scary and both definite contenders. Yeah. And I honestly, I think the Colts are on their way up. I think the Colts are trending upward, and I think that could be, it's a Christmas game, Christmas Day night game, primetime slot there. So I think that's a sneaky game too. I think the Colts are going to be better towards the end of the season than people are projecting them to be right now.
Tyler, are you saying that you believe in Carson Wentz?
I'm saying if he's healthy, I believe in the Colts. I don't know if I say I believe in Carson Wentz fully. I think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I think that, well, he proved it. He was a top MVP candidate until he got hurt with the Eagles.
But he's not that guy anymore.
That's what people are saying. And that definitely could be true. But he's proved it in the past. I think if there's the right situation around him, which I think there is in Indianapolis, they have a strong running game with Jonathan Taylor there. Good offensive line. He's got weapons around him. Their defense has showed up more in recent weeks than at the beginning of the season. And I think if he stays healthy, they have a legitimate chance out of